That the biggest killer in all of this is heat.
Just a bit closer.
A bit closer?
Thank you.
Thank you. So in terms of, I suppose, what can be done, I think what SHASA has shown, so just for those who don't know, we worked very hard at the last election and of course we're very disappointed with the result, but we made a decision after that we're on our own. And so we decided we were going to start applying for funding. If the government wasn't going to do the things that were required, we were going to take that on. And we're a pretty small group, but I hate to use that term, punch above our weight, but we do. And what we did was we actually did apply for funding. And we have committed ourselves to developing a network of heatwave and bushfire havens across the Eurobodalla. We've completed 2 of them, and we've got 4 currently in the process or underway to be completed. And these are havens for people to go to who are the most vulnerable in our community. We saw what happened in the bushfires and how totally inadequate the evacuation centres were for the most vulnerable. But perhaps even more importantly, these havens are going into community facilities where they get the day-to-day benefit of lower power prices, and they now have off-grid power capability when the grid goes down. So it's giving them much more day-to-day resilience. But of course these facilities have air filtering systems, HEPA filters, a whole lot of other extra items in there to make these comfortable and safe places for people to go to in extreme events. We've also continued to put solar onto rooftops. We've put 1.5 megawatts of solar on as part of the solar bulk buy, and we thank all the people in the community who have gone ahead with putting solar on. We're at about 25% of households that have solar. So I think, you know, we've done what we can. We bought an electric vehicle. We've had 60 people test drive it. We've had 6 people actually purchase electric vehicles. So in our little way, we are driving that change to the electrification of transport. But we know if we're really going to move to the next level and really start to cut our emissions, which the council says is about 438,000 tonnes a year, we need to be able to partner with a strong federal government. We need a federal government to have a vision and a plan, because at the moment we don't have one, which is why it feels so scary when we have these extreme weather events. So SHASA supports some of the many elements of Labor's Powering Australia plan and views them as part of the way forward. And I'll just quickly conclude. Things like the 85 solar banks. These will be solar systems that people can invest in that can't put a solar system on their roof. 400 community batteries, and I won't steal Chris's thunder, but he's going to announce one for Gilmore.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah. 10,000 new energy apprenticeships. We know from our partnership with MISA, Microenergy Systems Australia, they can't get the staff. It's a really big problem in the industry, and I presume it's the case for many industries. We can't get the qualified people that we need to do this work. And there's incentives, more incentives for getting more EVs, because at the moment, you know, you might see the occasional one around here, but we need rapid transition. It's the biggest growing source of emissions in the Eurobodalla is transport. And of course the big one is the massive investment they're going to make in the transmission lines, because without the transmission we can't have the transition. But a few more things that we do want to see. We always want to have plug SHASA, you know what we're like, we're never happy, we always want more. We want a community power hub to provide the technical and project support to leverage community energy projects. A single solar farm, if we could get one here, would create 80 jobs during construction and 10 ongoing jobs. We want to see our federal government incentivise switching from trucks to electric, because this will not only reduce transport costs, and we know all our goods come by truck, we don't have any trains, but it will also reduce traffic noise, emissions and other pollution. It'll make our urban areas a lot safer. We need a requirement that petrol stations get on board and start installing EV charging stations. Wouldn't it be nice to know where they all are? And if we had them at petrol stations, it would certainly make that a lot easier. But as I said earlier, we need a government that will partner with the community to transition to this new economy. It's not a negative. I know many people have painted it as a negative, but we can tap into some amazing opportunities are there for all of us. And we look forward to that occurring probably sometime in May. But we will be campaigning hard as part of the South Coast Climate Alliance to raise awareness in the community of the need for climate action, and we will endeavour to get them to think about these things before they go to vote in a very critical election. So thank you.